Every human being is born with a specific intention tied to their existence. You were not placed on this earth randomly. There is a reason you are breathing today, a reason you are alive at this very moment in time. Many people live their entire lives as though they are wandering in the dark, unsure of where they are going or what they are supposed to be doing. They wake up, go to work, earn money, pay bills, survive, and repeat. But surviving is not the same as living, and certainly not the same as fulfilling a purpose. The truth is, your value is directly connected to your purpose. If you do not know your purpose, you will always undervalue yourself. If you misunderstand why you exist, you will settle for less than you were designed to become. Understanding your purpose is the first and most important step toward becoming valuable. Purpose gives direction to your life. Purpose informs your decisions, clarifies your vision, and ignites your passion. When you know your purpose, you are not easily swayed by distractions, opinions, or temporary pleasures. You become focused. You become intentional, and that intentionality breeds productivity, creativity, and fulfillment. Purpose makes you resilient. It keeps you anchored when storms hit. When you understand your reason for existence, you stop reacting to life and start designing it. One of the major reasons people feel stuck or unfulfilled is because they are living without a sense of purpose. They pursue careers because of money, not meaning. They accept relationships because of loneliness, not alignment. They chase trends instead of destiny, and the result is a life of quiet frustration, looking successful on the outside, but feeling lost on the inside. You can wear a smile on your face and still be living in confusion. You can have a title and still be unsure of your assignment. The only thing that can pull you out of that confusion is clarity of purpose. Purpose does not come from outside you. It is not assigned by society, culture, or even your parents. Purpose is discovered, not invented. It is already in you. Just like a seed contains the blueprint of a tree, you contain the blueprint of your assignment. But that seed must be nurtured, cultivated, and activated. You must ask yourself the deeper questions. What am I passionate about? What do I do effortlessly that others find difficult? What injustices bother me the most? What kind of change would I like to see in the world? What makes me feel alive? The answers to those questions are not random. They are clues to your purpose. You are not here to do everything. You are here to do something specific. The world doesn't need another duplicate. It needs you to be authentic. It needs you to step into your uniqueness, your brilliance, your specific calling. When you discover what problem you were born to solve, you become indispensable. You become valuable. You become irreplaceable in your lane. There's a reason why the sun doesn't try to be the moon, and the moon doesn't try to be the stars. They all shine in their own timing, in their own way. You were created to shine, but only in the space that was designed for you. You may be overlooked by people, but if you're walking in purpose, you will never be overlooked by destiny. Purpose attracts provision. Purpose attracts opportunities. People can see when someone is walking in their calling. It's magnetic. It's powerful. It inspires. Purpose produces confidence, not arrogance. Because when you know what you're here for, you don't need validation from anyone. You don't need applause to keep going. You don't need constant motivation to take action. Purpose becomes your internal engine. It drives you, it sustains you. It pushes you through pain, through criticism, through fatigue, through rejection. People without purpose often seek their worth through external things, money, titles, followers, fame. But value based on external things is temporary. It fades. The economy can change. The job can be lost. The fans can disappear. But when your value comes from purpose, it is unshakable. It is rooted in something eternal. You carry your worth with you no matter where you go, because it is tied to your identity, not your environment. Purpose simplifies your life. It removes confusion. You don't say yes to everything, because you now understand what deserves your time. You start being strategic with your energy. You begin building things that last. You begin planting seeds with the future in mind. You stop wasting years on things that don't align with your assignment. You start seeing yourself as someone with something to offer, someone who is not just living, but contributing. Purpose is what turns existence into significance. Many people are living in reaction mode. They're reacting to bills, to people's opinions, to fear, to doubt. But people of purpose live in creation mode. They wake up with vision. They create opportunities. They influence their environment. They lead instead of follow. This kind of mindset is what makes a person valuable, not just to their family or their workplace, but to the world. The person who knows their purpose becomes a leader even without a title. They become a light even in the darkest places. Purpose is not a career. It's bigger than that. You can be in any job and still fulfill your purpose if your mindset is aligned. You can be a teacher, a builder, a driver, a mother, an artist, and still live your purpose fully if you're doing it with awareness and intention. It's not about the role you play. It's about the reason behind it. That reason is what gives it power. No matter how old you are, where you come from, or what mistakes you've made, you still have a purpose. Your past may be painful, but even that can be part of your assignment. The very thing you thought would disqualify you can be what qualifies you to help others. Nothing is wasted in purpose. Even your failures become lessons. Even your struggles become testimonies. Purpose redeems pain. It transforms tragedy into triumph. It gives your life context. It gives your story meaning. When you live with purpose, you stop asking life, "What can I get?" And you start asking, "What can I give?" You move from consumption to contribution. And that's when your life begins to matter not just to you, but to everyone connected to your assignment. There are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. People who need what you carry, your voice, your gift, your solution. Your purpose isn't just about you. It's about the impact you were born to make. The most powerful investment you will ever make is the one you make in yourself. Not in material possessions, not in fleeting trends, but in the substance of who you are becoming. Personal development is the engine of value. Without development, potential remains dormant. It is not enough to be gifted. It is not enough to have dreams. If you do not invest time, energy, and discipline into becoming better, sharper, and stronger, your potential will go to the grave with you. A seed may carry the potential of a tree, but without the right soil, water, and light, that tree never grows. In the same way, you are filled with possibilities, but unless you are willing to cultivate them through personal development, you will live beneath your capacity. Your mind is your greatest asset. Everything you do flows from the way you think. If your thinking is limited, your life will be limited. If your mindset is weak, your decisions will be weak. If your knowledge is outdated, your results will be outdated. That is why you must protect your mind from ignorance and complacency. Knowledge doesn't come automatically. It must be pursued. It must be sought after with intentionality and hunger. Personal development is a lifelong process. You never outgrow the need to grow. The moment you believe you have arrived is the moment you start declining. Growth keeps you sharp, relevant, and prepared. In the world we live in today, change is constant. Industries are evolving. Technology is advancing. Ideas are being redefined. What you knew yesterday may not be enough for tomorrow. If you stop learning, you start losing. But when you commit to personal development, you position yourself to adapt, to innovate, to lead. People who grow become the solution in every environment. They don't just survive change, they shape it. They become the reference point. They become irreplaceable because their value keeps increasing. And this is the truth. The marketplace rewards value. Not time, not presence, value. Two individuals may spend 8 hours in the same office, but only one walks out with promotion. The difference is not in the hours they both worked. The difference is in the impact, and impact is a product of investment. What you put in is what you get out. If you want to stand out, you must level up. Stop waiting for people to recognize you. Develop yourself to a level where you cannot be ignored. Excellence is louder than complaints. When you are excellent at what you do, you don't need to shout. Your results speak for you. Personal development is not only about knowledge. It's also about discipline. It's about building habits that shape your future. You can attend all the seminars in the world, read all the books you want, listen to every motivational speech. But if you don't apply what you learn consistently, there will be no transformation. Information without action is entertainment. You must be willing to do the hard work of practicing what you learn. You must wake up early if that's what it takes. Study late if that's what it requires. Say no to distractions, toxic environments, and small thinking. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. You cannot outsource your personal development. No one can grow for you. No one can think for you. No one can build your discipline. This is your responsibility. Growth is personal. You can have a mentor. But even the best mentor cannot change your life if you don't take ownership. Your mentor can show you the door, but you have to walk through it. Your coach can give you the strategy, but you have to execute. You can pray for opportunities, but if you're not prepared when they come, they'll pass you by. This is why you must be intentional about who you're becoming every single day. Time is not your greatest asset, transformed time is. Unused time is wasted potential. But time that is invested in reading, learning, planning, practicing, and evolving becomes the foundation of your future value. People admire success, but what they don't see is the quiet, consistent effort that built it. They don't see the hours spent studying while others were sleeping. They don't see the mistakes, the practice, the improvement, the internal battles. But all of that becomes your value. When you sharpen your mind, develop your skill, and build your discipline, you are writing the chapters of your own excellence. Personal development also expands your self-awareness. You begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses. You identify the areas that need work. You recognize your blind spots. And from that awareness, you can take strategic steps toward improvement. When you know yourself, you lead yourself better. You stop comparing your journey to others because you understand your own process. You begin to appreciate progress over perfection. You begin to grow in confidence because your growth is grounded in truth. Developing yourself is also a sign of respect for your purpose. If you truly believe you have a meaningful assignment in life, you will prepare yourself for it. You will not take your time lightly. You will not waste years wandering through life. You will see your potential as something sacred, and you will treat it with care. You will invest in books, in courses, in mentors, in spaces that stretch you. You will surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, not just those who make you comfortable. Personal development demands consistency. It's not about doing something once and expecting miracles. It's about daily habits, small disciplines, consistent choices that build over time. Every time you read a page, take a course, improve a skill, refine your character, you are making deposits into your value. And these deposits accumulate. Eventually, they form a brand, a reputation, a legacy. You become known for something. People start associating your name with excellence, integrity, creativity, or leadership, all because you took the time to develop yourself when no one was watching. There will always be people more talented than you, but talent alone doesn't win. Development wins. Growth wins. Talent without growth is wasted potential, but growth multiplies talent. It transforms raw ability into refined mastery. That's what separates amateurs from professionals. Not who has the most potential, but who develops it the most intentionally. Your future is not determined by what you hope for. It is determined by what you prepare for. And preparation is a product of development. You cannot fake preparation. When the spotlight comes, it will reveal whether you've done the work. It will expose whether you've grown or not. That's why you must use your quiet seasons to become strong. Use your waiting seasons to grow roots. Use every opportunity, every resource, every experience as a stepping stone for becoming a better version of yourself. True success is not an event. It is a result. And that result is shaped by the seeds of personal development. Every day you have a choice: to repeat or to evolve, to stay the same or to grow. And that choice determines whether you become someone of average existence or someone of undeniable value. Money is not the goal, it is a result. It is not the root of value, but the fruit of it. Most people spend their lives running after money, chasing salaries, pursuing profit, negotiating for wages, believing that money is the answer to their significance. But money is never the master, only the servant. The more you chase it, the more it runs. The more you depend on it, the more it escapes your grasp. But when you become valuable, truly valuable, money starts chasing you. Because money is a tool that follows usefulness, not noise. It follows those who solve problems, meet needs, and deliver results. When you increase your value, money has no choice but to follow. The world does not reward effort, it rewards impact. It does not pay you for how long you work, it pays you for how well you deliver. You can work from morning till night and still remain broke if what you do lacks value. You can have degrees and still be financially stagnant if you haven't learned how to turn your knowledge into solutions. Wealth is not created by busyness. It is created by effectiveness. The question is not how much work are you doing, but how valuable is your contribution. The clearer your value, the stronger your income. Value is not defined by a price tag. It is defined by transformation. Ask yourself, when people interact with me, what do they gain? What problem do I solve? What pain do I eliminate? What experience do I enhance? That's where value is found. If you cannot answer those questions, you're not ready to attract resources. People do not spend on wishes, they spend on worth. They will not pay you because you need money. They will pay you because you deliver change. When you stop focusing on making money and start focusing on making impact, you become indispensable. Chasing money puts you in survival mode. It puts you in competition with others. It makes you desperate. And desperation is dangerous because it compromises your standards. You start accepting anything, doing everything, saying yes to every offer, even those that are far beneath your potential. But when you focus on value, you rise above survival. You begin to attract clients, opportunities, and income streams not because you begged for them, but because your presence made a difference. You're no longer at the mercy of systems. You're a creator of systems. You're not knocking on doors. You're building your own. There is a difference between price and worth. Just because someone is charging more doesn't mean they're more valuable. And just because you're charging less doesn't mean you're worth less. Price is temporary. Worth is internal. You must see yourself as valuable before others can. If you carry yourself with confidence, integrity, and excellence, people begin to perceive your worth without you even saying a word. But if you walk around doubting your own contribution, underpricing your gift, minimizing your voice, you repel the very wealth you're trying to attract. To stop chasing money, you must redefine your metric for success. Success is not about what you collect. It's about what you create. It's about the problems you solve, the lives you touch, the ideas you generate, the service you render, the trust you build. If you can become a person who makes things better wherever you go, who leaves people stronger than you found them, who creates order out of chaos and structure out of confusion, then money will find you. Money flows to solutions, not complaints. It flows to productivity, not popularity. It flows to those who are committed to growth and excellence. Most people think wealth begins with income, but true wealth begins with identity. If you don't believe you're valuable, no amount of money will ever be enough. You'll keep trying to buy your worth, prove your worth, defend your worth, when in reality, your worth was never in question. It was simply undeveloped. You don't need to chase status to be respected. Just be a person who delivers results. Be so consistent in your excellence that people know they can trust you without second guessing. Be so precise in your performance that people associate your name with solution, stability, and strength. Even in a crowded marketplace, value always rises. You could be in an industry filled with competition, but if you offer something exceptional, something others can't replicate, people will find you. This is why chasing money is a distraction. It takes your eyes off your real assignment: to serve, to grow, to create, to lead. When you focus on the money, you forget the mission. But when you focus on the mission, the money comes as a byproduct. Chasing money can lead to burnout because you're constantly hustling for something external. You're working without rest, striving without peace, hoping that one more sale or one more job will give you the satisfaction you seek. But value-based living is different. It is grounded in purpose. You wake up each day not just to make a living, but to make a difference. You become fulfilled, not just busy, productive, not exhausted, wealthy, not just rich. Real value is internal before it becomes external. It starts with your mindset, your habits, your character, your discipline. It shows up in how you speak, how you solve, how you serve. You do not become valuable by doing more. You become valuable by becoming more, by learning more, growing more, stretching yourself beyond limits, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. When you commit to mastery, you create momentum, and momentum attracts reward. Money is a reflection of your mastery. If you want more of it, don't just wish, become more skillful. Become more excellent. Become more disciplined. Learn how to think creatively, how to communicate effectively, how to lead confidently. All these things add to your value, and when value increases, compensation follows. Money flows where it is respected, and money respects those who respect their gift. You are not paid for how hard you work. You are paid for how hard your work works. It's about outcomes. It's about transformation. It's about efficiency. You could be the hardest working person in the room and still be underpaid if your work doesn't move the needle. But when your contribution shifts outcomes, when it saves time, when it increases productivity, when it improves lives, people will pay to keep you close. This is not just about business. It applies in every area of life. Whether you are a teacher, an artist, an engineer, a speaker, a parent, or a leader, the principle is the same. Don't ask, how much will they pay me? Ask, how much value can I bring? Because when your presence adds value, your absence becomes expensive. You become a necessity, not a luxury. You move from optional to essential. Money is a mirror. It reflects what you bring to the table. If you want to change the reflection, don't break the mirror. Change what you're offering. Build your value daily. Refine your skills. Sharpen your understanding. Become known for something that solves a real problem, something that adds undeniable value. And watch how money stops becoming your master and starts becoming your servant. Every person on earth was born with a specific gift, a unique ability planted within them before they ever took their first breath. This gift is not learned from a textbook, nor can it be taught by professors. It is not found in a classroom, nor is it gained through imitation. It is something innate, something wired into your being by design. Your gift is the seed of your value, the root of your influence, and the source of your provision. It is the one thing you were born to do better than anyone else, not because you are more talented, but because it is yours. When you discover that gift and refine it, you become unstoppable. But until that discovery takes place, you will always feel like something is missing. No matter how many degrees you earn or promotions you chase. Many people live their entire lives working in jobs they hate, settling in roles that do not align with their natural abilities, because they have not taken the time to uncover what is already inside them. They confuse education with calling, confuse money with fulfillment, and confuse effort with purpose. But your job is not always your gift. Your career is not always your calling. You can be functioning, yet still unfulfilled. You can be successful in the eyes of the world and still empty inside. Because success without alignment is frustration disguised as achievement. True value does not come from what you do. It comes from what you were born to do. When you live from your gift, you don't just earn. You express. You don't just work. You create. You don't just function. You flow. The process of discovering your gift begins with awareness. It begins with asking the right questions. What comes naturally to me? What do I do with ease while others struggle? What am I passionate about doing, even if no one pays me? What problems do I feel deeply called to solve? The answers to these questions are not random. They are clues. Your gift is usually hidden in what seems effortless to you, but is valuable to others. It's the thing you can do with excellence under pressure. It's the ability that shows up repeatedly in your life, even when you're not trying to showcase it. It's the thing people thank you for, rely on you for, or admire in you, even if you don't recognize it as special. But discovery alone is not enough. A gift that is discovered but not developed is wasted potential. Just as raw gold has no market value until it is refined, your gift must go through a process. It must be sharpened, disciplined, stretched, and tested. It must be exposed to learning, practice, and feedback. Many people are gifted, but few are masters. It is mastery that sets you apart. It is the commitment to go beyond natural talent into the realm of excellence that makes you indispensable. Refined gifts command attention. They earn respect. They create space in rooms where credentials alone cannot open doors. You are not designed to be a copy of someone else. Imitation is the enemy of distinction. When you neglect your own gift and attempt to replicate another person's calling, you rob the world of your authenticity. No one can beat you at being you. No one else has your exact fingerprint, your voice, your lens, your style, your story. You are an original, and your gift is your signature. When you walk in your gift, you walk in power. You step into alignment with the reason for your existence. You begin to live not from pressure, but from passion. You are no longer driven by fear or obligation. You are led by vision and conviction. Your gift is not just about you. It is meant to serve others. It is designed to bring value to your environment, to contribute something that others need. When you operate in your gift, you fulfill a need that makes you necessary. And people always reward necessity. If you want to be influential, solve problems that matter. If you want to be remembered, serve from your uniqueness. The more you give your gift away, the more it grows. And the more it grows, the more room it makes for you in the world. There are people waiting for what you carry. There are lives connected to your voice, your insight, your creativity, your solution. But if you hide your gift, downplay it, or leave it undeveloped, you not only rob yourself of fulfillment, you rob others of transformation. You are never meant to hoard your gift. It was meant to be activated, released, and multiplied. And when you use your gift with discipline and integrity, it becomes a channel through which influence, provision, and legacy flow. The refinement of your gift requires patience. It is not an overnight process. It demands consistency. It demands that you practice when no one is clapping, that you study when no one is watching, that you commit when no one is asking. Refined gifts are forged in the fires of repetition. They are formed in hidden seasons. Before the spotlight comes, preparation must be done. The world only sees the fruit, but the root is where the real work happens. Don't seek applause. Seek refinement. Don't crave recognition, crave mastery. When you are excellent, recognition becomes inevitable. To refine your gift, you must also embrace feedback. You must be willing to hear where you can grow. Ego is the enemy of growth. Pride will keep you average, but humility allows you to sharpen your edge. The more teachable you are, the more progress you make. You must also be willing to invest in your development. Buy the book. Take the course, hire the coach. Ask the questions. Learn from those ahead of you. Study your craft until you can deliver it with distinction. Don't just be good, be remarkable. Every stage of life is an opportunity to refine your gift. You don't need to wait until the perfect time or the ideal platform. Start where you are. Use what you have. Serve in the small places with the same excellence you would in the large places. When you are faithful with little, you are trusted with more. When you respect your gift, others will too. But if you treat your gift casually, the world will treat it the same way. The standard you set becomes the standard others follow. Discovering and refining your gift also builds confidence. Not arrogance, but grounded confidence. The kind that comes from competence and clarity. You begin to walk taller, speak with authority, move with purpose, because you know what you carry. You no longer compare yourself with others, because your worth is not tied to competition. It's rooted in contribution. The more you refine your gift, the more you attract people, opportunities, and resources that align with your purpose. Your gift is not your career, it is your calling. You can express your gift in multiple careers over your lifetime. Your profession may change, but your gift remains. That's why your identity must be rooted in who you are, not just in what you do. Careers come and go, markets change, jobs rise and fall, but your gift is permanent. It is transferable. It is recession-proof. It is the foundation on which your legacy is built. When you discover and refine your gift, you begin to live a life of impact, not just existence. You become a force of value, a beacon of excellence, a person who cannot be replaced because your gift was never duplicated. No matter how talented you are, how gifted you may be, or how much potential lies within you, without principles and discipline, your value will always be limited. Talent can open doors, but it is character that keeps them open. Skill may gain attention, but only principles can sustain influence. The world is filled with people who had extraordinary gifts, but lacked the internal structure to manage success. Without a foundation built on values, greatness becomes a moment, not a legacy. What truly makes a person valuable is not just what they can do, but who they are when no one is watching. Discipline is the invisible force behind visible excellence. It is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the refusal to be ruled by emotions or impulses. Discipline brings structure to chaos, focus to distraction, and consistency to action. A disciplined life is a directed life. When you have discipline, you don't wait for motivation, you act on commitment. You don't need external pressure because you have internal standards. This is where real value begins. Not in external performance, but in internal mastery. A person of discipline shows up consistently. They don't make decisions based on moods or circumstances. They live by decisions made in clarity. Their yes means yes, and their no means no. They manage time with respect, knowing that every wasted minute is a missed opportunity for growth. They do not cut corners or chase shortcuts. They understand that real growth takes time, effort, and unwavering focus. In a world addicted to convenience, Discipline becomes a rare quality, and rarity is the birthplace of value. The more uncommon your level of discipline, the more unique your value becomes. But discipline alone is not enough. It must be rooted in principles. Principles are timeless truths that govern behavior. They are the unshakable laws that hold your values together when pressure tries to break them. Principles don't bend to culture. They don't shift with trends, and they don't disappear in adversity. They are what keep you steady in the storm. Without principles, your life becomes reactive instead of proactive. You bounce from situation to situation, adjusting your character to fit the crowd. But when you live by principle, your decisions are already made before the test comes. You don't have to compromise because you already stand on a foundation that cannot be moved. People who live by principles command respect. They are trustworthy. Their name carries weight. Their presence brings order. In a world full of manipulation, excuses, and deception, principled individuals shine like beacons of integrity. They do not gossip, betray, or manipulate for gain. They operate from a place of conviction, and that conviction becomes contagious. People want to work with them, learn from them, follow them, and partner with them because trust has become their brand. And trust is one of the most valuable currencies in the world. Once it is earned, doors open that no amount of talent can force through. To become truly valuable, you must commit to a life that is aligned with your highest standards, not your lowest cravings. That means choosing discipline over distraction, commitment over comfort, and long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. It means doing what's right even when no one applauds you, even when it costs you something, even when compromise looks easier. Living by principle and discipline is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is not always exciting, but it is always effective. You may not see the rewards instantly, but you are laying a foundation that will support your growth for years to come. Principles act as your internal compass. When the path is unclear, they provide direction. When emotions run high, they offer stability. When pressure mounts, they offer clarity. Without them, life becomes reactive and shallow. With them, life becomes focused and deep. You no longer waste time debating what you should or shouldn't do. You already know, because your decisions are anchored in truth. That clarity is what sets valuable people apart. They are not led by confusion, nor are they easily influenced by popular opinion. They are self-governed, self-led, and deeply rooted. Discipline builds credibility. When you do what you said you would do, when you meet deadlines, when you follow through, people begin to trust your word, and your word becomes your bond. In a society where flakiness is common and excuses are standard, discipline stands out. It becomes your silent marketing. You don't need to boast about your reliability. Your consistency speaks for itself. You become someone others depend on, and dependable people are rare and therefore valuable. Being principled means understanding that everything you do sends a message. Your actions communicate your values louder than your words. If you cut corners, people see it. If you act with integrity, people feel it. Even when no one is watching, someone is always learning from you. Whether you lead a team, raise a family, or simply show up in your daily work, your principles create a ripple effect. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond, and your response reveals your character. To live a principled and disciplined life, you must protect your environment. You must guard your time, your mind, your habits, and your relationships. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every invitation aligns with your values. Not every opportunity is worth your attention. You must be willing to say no to things that look good but aren't good for you. Discipline creates boundaries. Principles enforce them. Together, They preserve your purpose and protect your value. One of the greatest lies is that freedom means doing whatever you want. In reality, true freedom is found in discipline. It is the freedom to say no when others can't. It is the freedom to walk away from temptation because you know your worth. It is the freedom to stay focused while others are distracted, to stay committed while others give up, to keep building when no one else sees the vision. This kind of freedom is not cheap. It is earned through daily decisions to live with integrity, to lead yourself first, and to stay true to your highest calling. Discipline also allows you to manage your emotions. Valuable people do not let emotions control their actions. They feel deeply, but they respond wisely. They do not speak carelessly or act impulsively. They pause. They reflect. They make decisions from a place of principle, not pressure. This emotional discipline is what separates professionals from amateurs, leaders from followers, and builders from breakers. The more you master your emotions, the more trustworthy you become, and trust builds influence. The disciplined and principled person is not perfect, they are intentional. They fail, but they learn. They struggle, but they stay committed. They make mistakes, but they take responsibility. Their value is not in their perfection, but in their consistency. They get back up, they keep showing up, and they keep improving. This resilience makes them a magnet for opportunities. The world is always looking for someone who can be trusted, who can lead, who can build, who can finish. When you become that person, value becomes your identity. You no longer have to search for significance. It begins to follow you. Value is not something you stumble into by accident. It is something you build with discipline and protect with principles. The more consistent you are in your habits, the more grounded you are in your values, the more powerful your presence becomes. You create stability in a world that is unstable. You offer clarity in environments clouded by confusion. You bring leadership where others bring noise. You walk with vision where others wander in circles. And all of that is the result of a life governed not by emotion or popularity, but by unshakable principle and unrelenting discipline. The journey to becoming truly valuable begins not in what you do, but in who you choose to become. It is a process of intentional discovery, relentless discipline, and unwavering alignment with purpose. When you understand your purpose, you unlock the very reason you exist, no longer living in reaction to life, but rising to lead it. Through personal development, you refine your mind, expand your capacity, and equip yourself to serve at a higher level. You stop chasing money and instead attract it by becoming a person of value, a solution bearer whose presence transforms problems into possibilities. You uncover the gift placed within you, not to hide it or waste it, but to develop it until it becomes your identity, your signature, your offering to the world. And all of this is held together by principles and discipline, those invisible anchors that turn talent into trust and passion into power. The world does not need more noise, it needs more value. And value is created by those who live with purpose, grow with intention, give from their gifts, and stand firm in character. When you make the decision to live like this, you stop being replaceable and start being unforgettable.